Now, next up, we're going to be meeting a man who injects himself with testosterone. It's been warned that this is a very dangerous thing to do. So he's coming into the studio, going to tell us all about it.
Is testosterone replacement therapy as dangerous as the media portrays it? I was recently invited on the Talk TV program with Kevin O'Sullivan this past Sunday, and he was kind enough to bring me on to explain what the Daily Mail article was all about. Today I'm going to be doing a reaction video, going through the entire video with you to address some of the questions that were brought up in the interview as we play it. So keep watching and we'll have more after this. Hi, I'm Mike, founder of Balance My Hormones, where we help men and women on their journey to optimal hormone balance. In this current video, we'll be discussing men's TRT, but if you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing because we'll have more content for women, for men, and all the issues that you're interested in. So I was invited on Sunday to appear in Talk TV. It's a new channel. Recently, I think it was part of a radio channel. And Kevin O'Sullivan happened to come across the interview that I had done in the Daily Mail regarding TRT. And unfortunately, the Daily Mail had got it really wrong. Hence, I refer to it as a daily fail. The whole notion of the article, and I'll put the link in the section below, was that somehow men are dangerously injecting themselves with TRT. And that's just not true, at least not at Balance My Hormones. And what they try to do is conflate what certain anabolic steroid abusers do with what I've done over my years, which is testosterone replacement therapy, which is a safe, when monitored by a doctor, therapy that I've been on for 26 years now. And I am much better for it as a result. So I'm going to play a few clips and we'll hear what he has to say.
Welcome back. Now, in the Daily Mail the other day, there was a story that caught my eye, and it says, Island. You'll find out why I said that there. The headline says, "Is the quest for a Love Island body behind a boom in men injecting testosterone?" Well, testosterone, you may know, is sort of nicknamed the male hormone. It's produced, I think, in the testicles, but also women do have testosterone, but much lower levels than us. Now, the story in the Mail was that more and more men are injecting testosterone because if you're, say, in middle age, I don't know, in your 40s or something, apparently, according to the story, it makes you feel, like you've got a superpower and that you can exercise again and get that kind of honed body that those 20-year-olds in Love Island get.
There are benefits to TRT in that you can improve your lean muscle mass when, with a sound diet, exercise program. There are many reasons why men go on TRT. At our clinic, they're on TRT for medical reasons. Some of the men who go on TRT discover that exercise is improved, which is part of a healthy lifestyle. So there's nothing wrong with exercising and being on TRT, as we've addressed in previous videos. But again, this is journalism. You take the good with the bad. You take the sensationalism of the journalism because that's how they sell the news.
Doctors have warned that this is a very dangerous thing to do. Now, the guy who was featured in the story has been very kind enough to come on in. He's the founder of a company called Balance My Hormones, and his name is Mike Kocsis. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, thanks for having me, Kevin.
Now, you are how old now?
I'm 48 years old.
And you've been injecting yourself with testosterone twice a week for 26 years, is that right?
It's been all different protocols. When I first started, it was injections from the doctor. Then it was eventually patches. And then it was topical scrotal creams. And then eventually, because of logistics, it was injections, sometimes every 5 days. Currently, my treatment plan is every 3 days, a small amount every 3 days. But
Do you sorry to interrupt. Do you need it medically then?
Yes,
Yeah.
I need it medically. This is not the problem with this article. Was they conflated testosterone replacement therapy with muscles and Love Island, and it's all nonsense, because obviously there's a medical condition. I needed the medical condition. There's many men that are
You
suffering.
had a deficiency.
I had a deficiency in testosterone.
How does that manifest itself?
Well, I had a varicocele. And I didn't know, and the varicocele is damaging to the testes. So the varicocele is lowering the amount of testicular output. So there's like a bundle of veins that get heat up, and they hurt fertility, and they also hurt testosterone levels. And that's documented in the British Society for guidelines.
So what I was referring to there was in the guidance for the British Society for Sexual Medicine, I meant to say, it's one of the potential causes of low T can be a varicocele. And so with my situation, you know, at the time there was a combination of factors, and one of them, it's clear I had a varicocele, which put me down below into a lower level and having symptoms.
So why have you founded a company called Balance My Hormones?
Well, I founded it, and very much justified, in that I was frustrated with the treatment on the NHS and the lack of knowledge and understanding, and they're quite acerbic in their approach. And I found that we could help men in my similar situation who wanted essentially American-style TRT, but with British sensibilities. And I originally started my treatment in the United States. I spent a lot of time living and working in the United States. I'm also a US citizen as well as a British citizen.
Yeah, Balance My Hormones, as I said, was founded to give more of an American style of TRT, one that looks at wellness prevention, not just the sick care model that is usually government-run healthcare, like the NHS and others in Europe.
So are blokes, though, just getting hold of testosterone and injecting themselves so that if they're middle-aged, if I may say so, like yourself, you know, it'll make them feel younger, it'll make them able to exercise, get that Love Island body? I mean, are people who are not medically required to have testosterone having testosterone?
Absolutely not at our clinic. Everyone has to have a medical need, a clinical need to get the testosterone. We look at 2 different blood tests. We look at the symptoms. The guidelines talk about a diminishment in blood levels over time. But there are, you know, we can't control if other men are getting it from, you know, they get the testosterone. I don't know what other men are doing. But at our clinic, when people come to us, they've got a bona fide medical need, and this is not to be conflated with muscle building, as you say.
According to the article, injecting testosterone will help.
So yeah, I think I said it well. I think he was trying to bait me into talking about the underground steroid abuse that goes on, and I wasn't going to fall for it. So
men regain their health, vitality, and return to a fulfilling sex life. I mean, is, in your knowledge, are men doing this purely for those kind of reasons? I guess a vanity reason. Vanity
no, it's not. It's, well, I can't tell you what's in other men's minds, why they do it. I know the men that come to our clinic, they're suffering. They've got mental health is suffering because of the lack of testosterone, and they're not being treated by the NHS, even when their levels are within the NHS's guidelines. So the endos in this article got a bit exaggerating some of the symptoms because they feel threatened. They become irrelevant. There really are now mediocre diabetes specialists. They're not endocrinologists anymore. They don't want to treat men for this. And we don't ask these questions when women go on birth control or HRT. In fact, HRT, you just have to have symptoms.
Just explain to me again, to go back, to reiterate, if you're suffering from low testosterone, you know, obviously you suffered from that, how does it make you feel?
You can have night sweats, you know, hot flushing. You can have, yes, low libido is one of those, which is very important for a man's general health and wellness. You can have a lack of morning erections, and a lack of morning erections can affect the health of your penis. So you're not going to be able to perform when you need to, and you may have other issues like, you know, Peyronie's disease and further erectile dysfunction. You can also have brittle bones. You can have, you have a higher risk of dying if you have low levels of testosterone in 4.3 years, is what some studies have shown, if your levels are low. So it's a needed treatment for some people, but not everyone. And not everyone needs to go on full treatment. If they can, through lifestyle and exercise and the right diet, if they can raise their levels, get enough sleep, they might not need injections or creams or topical testosterone. They might be able to recover on their own.
Explain again why you think that the NHS is deficient in this area.
Because we get men every single day who are just disgusted about the treatment they receive from the NHS. They go to the NHS. The NHS has a certain threshold in which they'll treat, and they're not getting treated. In fact, we end up getting men who do get treated on the NHS, and they're disgusted with the quality of service, so they come to our clinic. So we're fulfilling a need to help people have a better quality of life, and not to decrease their health span. We're increasing the health span, and we're treating them for wellness.
And in this article again, it says that it makes you feel like Superman. You feel like a god when you start injecting this stuff.
If you've been on a really, really low level and you felt rubbish, and all of a sudden you're brought up to normal, that might feel like Superman.
There's a feeling of well-being that you're not used to.
But it's, again, the purpose of this is to help support men's health, especially aging men who aren't being treated. Look, the NHS is great for sick care. The sick care model, if you're sick, great. What the NHS isn't good at is treating wellness. And that's what we do with the Balance by Hormones. We treat wellness.
And do you have doctors at your clinic?
Absolutely. We've got doctors, we've got 5 different doctors in the UK and 2 in Europe.
So what did you feel about this? Because it made it look like you were peddling, some kind of Love Island fantasy.
That's disgusting what they did, but that's typical of the Daily Fail and the Daily Scare, really.
How dare you impugn the reputation of the national press?
No, but everyone knows. You read that for a good scare if you want to read headlines. Look, the thing they put on the main headline about blood clots, there's a study that even from the endocrinologist in the UK recently put out in June that said testosterone doesn't cause blood clots or cardiovascular issues. There's also a study from 2015 that looked at 30,000 patients who had insurance who were given testosterone treatment, and there was no evidence that testosterone treatment caused blood clots. So it's complete nonsense.
So the 2 studies I referred to, there was a recent meta-analysis from some of the very doctors that had appeared in the article in the Daily Mail, and saying that, according to their meta-analysis, that they did not see any risks of cardiovascular disease, prostate cancer, or blood clots, or I think venous thrombosis or thromboembolisms being caused by testosterone replacement therapy.
Now, listen, we're going to go over now to GP at Same Day Doctor, Dr. Lawrence Gurlis. I did tell you I was going to do this because we have to get the medical line. Lawrence, are you there?
Yeah, listen, Kevin, I'm not going to get into an argument with Mike.
I don't want an argument. I just want your view.
That's because I'll win. But no, I think this doctor, you'll see, he was really fair.
And I don't want to comment on his case or the case of other men going to his clinic. All right.
No,
what
not
I
at
will
all.
say, right. What I will say is, notwithstanding everything that he said, that there are men who have medical reasons with low testosterone. I see a lot of men who are self-injecting anabolic steroids and testosterone that they're not getting on prescription. They're buying it online. They're getting it in gyms, and they're doing it just for bodybuilding. And that is, to my mind, very worrying. And I think that there needs to be a very clear dividing line between the sort of people I think Mike is talking about.
I agree with you.
And the fact is there is an epidemic of men overusing and abusing testosterone treatments. It's easy to get online. It's easy to, gyms sell it. There are certain supplements that boost your testosterone. So I have a concern about that. And I repeat that concern because I see patients. I also have patients demanding testosterone from me, and I would insist that they fulfill the medical criteria before I would even consider prescribing for them. So that's my comment. Testosterone clearly can increase the risk of certain testosterone-dependent cancers like prostate cancer. So I would be particularly concerned. I generally don't equate
that's been dismissed.
female
Sorry,
HIV
sorry.
with men.
No, I don't want to get into a round, Mike.
That's been.
Can you just say, Lawrence, just spell out the people who are doing this purely for, shall we say, vanity reasons, you know, to work out in the gym and get muscular, get a Love Island body. What are the dangers of injecting testosterone?
Right. The principal problem they have, irrespective of whether it causes cancer or blood clots, the principal problem they have is you get a surge of libido, you get a surge of well-being, but it fades in a short space of time. And then what's happened is you've switched off your own mechanism. There's the pituitary gland in the brain controls your testosterone level. If you inject testosterone, you reduce the FSH that your brain produces. So in the end, actually, you're worse off. And I've spoken to these men. They say, yes, they have a good libido for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they have the opposite. They have no libido for 2 or 3 weeks because it goes in the other direction. And I saw someone this week who I've never prescribed for him, but he's been on testosterone for years because having started it for non-medical reasons, he can't get off it because he switched off his own production of testosterone. And
also bad for your fertility if you're doing it for these vanity reasons.
Well, you know, yes, because it actually in the end can lead to, you know, a loss of libido and a loss of erectile function. And again, I have seen that in men who have abused testosterone. There is a problem out there with abuse of testosterone, and we need to highlight that. But that is not in any way directly connected with what Mike is saying and what I assume many of his patients are going through.
Lawrence, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Lawrence. That's Dr. Lawrence Gurlis from Same Day Doctor. So, Mike, what I think he's saying is if you're doing it just because you want a perfect gym body, that's ridiculous.
That's abuse, and that's not what we do at Balance for Hormones. We support men who really have a medical need for this, who aren't getting the treatment, and we look at all international guidelines, and the British Society for Sexual Medicine guidance is very clear.
So what we're saying, if a doctor doesn't tell you to have testosterone, then you shouldn't go there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, Mike, thank you very much for coming in. And it seems to me clear that you're not dealing testosterone to people in order to get perfect gym bodies. So thank you so much for coming in. Very much appreciate it. That's Mike Kocsis there. He's founder of Balance My Hormones.
So I'm glad we were able to clear that up. And I am thankful to Talk TV and Kevin O'Sullivan for having me on their program. Happy to come back if they ever want me back. And I think this was helpful in moving the needle forward in the understanding in the UK that, you know, testosterone replacement therapy is here to stay. People need to have their treatment and have the treatment available. And clinics such as Balance My Hormones are there helping lead the way, as we were the first in the UK to provide a more of an American-style TRT. And I always say with British sensibilities, because there are some limitations in what we can and can't prescribe, but we do the best we can to provide outstanding service and support to our patients. So, and on this channel, I'm here to, you know, essentially inform the entire world about TRT and its benefits. And I hope you keep watching. We will have more content coming very soon. And thanks again. And again, feel free to subscribe. And do leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this particular video, because it's really, really important to hear what your thoughts are. We'll soon be doing some live podcasts as well. But until then, thanks for watching.